they hum and blow, echoes of time in the streets below. A Roman temple, a story untold, in every shadow a memory unfolds. We're rolling through Alentejo skies, where the land and dreams collide. Every mile, a new surprise. Freedom's calling, let it get.
We will start our road trip in Lisbon, where we will pick up our rental car and leave the city via the Vasco da Gama Bridge, Portugal's longest bridge, spanning approximately 12 kilometers across the Tagus River. Our first destination is Évora, but we make a few small stops along the way. The first is the castle of Arraiolos. Dating back to the 14th century, this medieval castle is one of the few in Portugal with a circular wall structure. It used to protect the village, and its strategic location offers great views of the surrounding countryside. Although the castle itself is partly in ruins, the walls are largely intact and, within them, stands the small, charming old church of the Salvador. After an early start to the day, we were hungry and ready for lunch, where we immediately learned to appreciate the typical cuisine of the Alentejo region. From there, we drive on to the Almendres Cromlech, one of the largest and most important megalithic monuments on the Iberian Peninsula. It is located near Évora in the Alentejo region. Part of the journey there is accessible by car and part on foot. Consisting of over 90 granite stones, also known as menhirs, some of which are more than 2 meters high, it is a prehistoric stone circle arranged in ovals and circles. The oldest parts date from around 6,000 to 5,000 years ago. Although its exact function is unknown, it is believed that it served as a ceremonial or religious center. The walk to the stone circle was impressive too, as everything was in bloom and the typical cork oaks were everywhere. Time to drive to our first destination, the city of Evora. This UNESCO World Heritage Site dates back to Roman times and grew to become an important cultural and religious center of the Portuguese kingdom in the Middle Ages. Here are some of the highlights of this historic city. The Roman Temple of Evora, also known as the Temple of Diana, is an impressive Roman structure dating back to the 1st century. Évora Cathedral. This Gothic cathedral dates back to the 12th century and offers great views from the roof. Inside, you will find an impressive Gothic nave, a Renaissance altar and a beautiful cloister. Another highlight is the Bone Chapel. This 17th century chapel is decorated with thousands of human bones, which is both sinister and fascinating. The Franciscan monks who built it wanted to remind visitors of the impermanence of life. Above the entrance is the famous phrase, translated as the bones that lie here, wait for yours. Right next to the chapel is the Church of São Francisco, which dates back to the 15th century. It is an impressive example of Gothic Manueline architecture and was once an important Franciscan monastery. We were lucky because the annual wine festival was held during our stay in Évora. All the local winemakers from the region presented their wines, and the city buzzed with anticipation as people waited to taste them. Above all, enjoy the historic city centre with its narrow streets, whitewashed houses, squares, and medieval city walls. We use the city of Évora as our base camp and can make some wonderful day trips from there. On the second day of our road trip, we will move on to Castello de Monsaraz. This medieval fortress is located on a hilltop in the charming walled village of Monsaraz in the Alentejo region, overlooking the river Guadiana and the Alentejo reservoir. Built in the 13th century during the Christian reconquest under King Dinas, it served as a military stronghold against the Spanish border nearby. Within its walls lies an open square which used to be an arena for bullfights. You can enjoy spectacular views of Lake Alentejo, one of the largest man-made lakes in Europe, as well as the pretty stone streets and whitewashed houses within the castle walls. This romantic and photogenic place will make you feel as if you have traveled back in time. If you're interested in prehistoric megaliths, you can stop off at the Xerez megalithic enclosure on the way back to Evora. This prehistoric stone circle, or cromlech, is located near Monsaraz. Although it is smaller than the Almendres Cromlech, it is much easier to reach by car. After a full day of exploring, it's time to drive back to Evora, our base camp. It's high time we further explore the typical cuisine of the Alentejo region. This restaurant was recommended to us at the hotel, and the food was fantastic. For those who like to eat pork, this is the place to go. Meanwhile, we are now on day 3 of our road trip. Today, we are going to visit Beja, a city south of Evora. Beja is the capital of the district of the same name in the southern Alentejo region, and it has a rich history dating back to Roman times when it was known as Pax Julia. Between the 8th and 12th centuries, it was known as Beja and developed into a prosperous Islamic center with fortified walls and irrigation systems. In 1162, Beja was recaptured by the Christians. Under the reigns of Kings Dinas and Manuel I, the city grew in importance again, particularly as a regional administrative centre. The Castello de Beja, built under King Dinas as a defence against the Moors, is the city's highlight. Strategically located on a hill, it overlooks the vast Alentejo plains and the lower town. The real highlight is the impressive Torre de Minagem, one of Portugal's tallest defensive towers. Make sure you take enough time to visit this impressive castle and enjoy the stunning views. Be sure to visit the Museo Regional de Beja, a museum housing Roman mosaics and religious art, as well as the convent where the famous nun Mariana Alcoforado penned her love letters. Beja is a city where you can literally see the layers of Portuguese history in an authentic and peaceful setting. It's time to head back to our base camp and continue enjoying the delicious cuisine that this region has to offer. We stumbled upon this cozy little restaurant by chance, and enjoyed another delicious dinner there. Today, we will say goodbye to beautiful Évora and head to Badajoz, a city just beyond the Spanish border. En route, we will stop at 3 highlights of Portugal's Alentejo region. First is the castle of Estremoz. Yes, I know, another castle. Dating back to the 13th century, this castle is best known for the legend of Queen Isabel of Aragon, who died there in 1336. She was later canonized and is known as Santa Isabel. The castle contains a marble tower which is considered to be one of the finest examples of Gothic military architecture in Portugal. Take a step back in time as you stroll through the narrow streets of the old town. Next, we will continue our tour to the beautiful town of Vila Viçosa, located just 20 kilometers away. The town was originally inhabited in ancient times and experienced a huge boost in the 15th century when it became the residence of the House of Bragança, one of Portugal's most powerful noble families. This resulted in the construction of the imposing Paço Ducal, also known as the Ducal Palace. This impressive palace served as the residence of the Dukes of Bragança. The Church of Agostinhos is located directly opposite the palace. This monastery church has a beautiful facade and contains the tombs of some members of the Bragança family. Next to it is another castle. Within its walls is the Church of Nossa Senhora de Conceição, the patron saint of Portugal. The region is renowned for its marble extraction, and Vila Viçosa is affectionately known as the White Marble Town. Many of its buildings are constructed from or adorned with locally quarried marble. Vila Viçosa has remained relatively quiet and authentic, ideal for those who love history, culture, and the leisurely pace of life in the Alentejo region. Before leaving Portugal, we will of course stop in Elvas. This fascinating fortified town in the Alentejo is close to the Spanish border. It is renowned for its impressive military architecture and has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2012. The highlight of the city is undoubtedly the Forte de Nossa Senhora de Braga. If you think it's just another fortress, think again. Its design is a masterpiece that resembles a cathedral more than a defensive structure. Its maze of intricately intertwined rooms brings out the child in you. You will need at least an hour to wander around. Head to the governor's balcony for a great view. From here, you can see as far as Spain and admire the city of Elvas, as well as the sister fort, Forte de Santa Lucia, on the other side of town. You can also admire an impressive 16th century aqueduct, which is 7 kilometers long. We enjoyed a final lunch in Elvas before leaving Portugal and crossing into Spain. This is the perfect end to our first 4 days of this tour of Portugal and Spain. In the coming days, we will explore the beautiful cities of Córdoba and Granada. We hope to see you again for the second part of this road trip, and if you find our videos inspiring, please consider to like, subscribe and share.